3 reasons I have difficulty expressing myself. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Anna B, and I like to create art for self-awareness and personal development purposes. For today's video, I created a piece of art, which is my first piece of art that I was able to create without using just one reference picture for the subject, which is the female portrait that I drew here. When I started immersing myself into trying to learn how to draw again, my end goal was to be able to draw portraits and sceneries that are not completely from reference, where you just copy and try to recreate some type of replica. And I knew that that involves a lot of learning and a lot of fundamentals that aren't always so fun to have to learn and whatnot. So for this portrait, I used about 10 to 12 different reference photos to combine together, and I'm pretty happy with the ending, as I was able to combine my love for portraits as well as my love for line art. I wanted to touch base on my difficulty with expressing myself and how that was the reason why I started to create this YouTube channel to begin with. Everybody has their own obstacles that they have to overcome in their artwork, and everybody has different type of blocks that makes them hesitate in trying to embrace their full potential when it comes to their own creativity. For me, I started realizing that I had these blocks when I started my own personal development journey around 29 years old, so that's about 8 years ago. I was and I still am very timid to use social media, so it was really hard for me to make the decision to create this YouTube channel, as I knew I had to be pretty active on social media if I wanted to be a part of this community. So it wasn't even 2 years ago where I discovered that my social anxiety was a lot deeper than I had allowed myself to believe, because I couldn't even like a Facebook post because I was afraid that some of my Facebook friends might see what type of post that I like, and I wouldn't even think about commenting. So for this video, I wanted to share with you the 3 reasons that I learned where I myself had difficulty expressing myself. And I do know that a lot of the things that I talk about on my channel might be pretty obvious and common sense to a lot of you who have already overcome these type of personal obstacles, but I wanted to share my experience for other people who have not gone there yet or are going through the same thing, because it is pretty hard for us to be able to speak about these type of issues that we go through while we're still fighting it. So the first reason I realized that I had a difficulty expressing anything about myself was due to my anxiety because of my insecurities. More specifically, I had a high level of performance anxiety, as many other people do have that fear as well. The tricky thing about performance anxiety is that it doesn't actually matter how skilled you are at something to have that block of not being able to perform. I used to be really irritated to hear somebody push me to try to do something and tell me to just get over it because they knew that I had a skill, whether it was art or anything academic, for example. We have to understand that it's not the lack of skill that stops us from being able to perform. And I feel like American Idol is a great example, because you can see a lot of the singers that are the most nervous people might have the highest amount of talent and skill And then on the other side, you have some of the most confident people who go on stage and they can't hold the tune for the life of them. So for me to be able to overcome that anxiety is exactly what I'm doing right now, is to face my fears and make that commitment to be able to overcome that. The second reason I realized that I had a lot of trouble with expressing myself is that I used to be punished for self-expression. So I grew up in a very strict household, and due to my own culture, it was frowned upon to show any type of emotion. So if you're hushed as a kid constantly and you're punished for expressing your emotions, even if it's positive emotions, then it's just natural for us to kind of want to hide any type of emotions, and that is just brought naturally into your adult life. Normally, when I'm around people who I'm very comfortable with, I tend to be a pretty happy and bubbly person, but that doesn't come out to play unless I'm able to feel very comfortable around the people and feel safe around them, that they won't judge me or criticize me or become irritated because I am a certain way. And the third reason I wanted to touch base on for why I have difficulty expressing myself is that I actually didn't know myself. So that's more of a complicated topic that I might dive deeper in a separate video, but I am the type of person who becomes paralyzed when it comes to having to make certain decisions, especially the ones that express traits of our personalities. I've lived almost my whole life being someone that others have molded me into because I was taught that who I am is not enough. And when I realized that I didn't like the person I have become, and I saw some of the negative traits that I have absorbed from the toxic people that I was brought up with reflected within me, I wasn't proud of that. And I made a promise and a commitment to dedicate myself to changing what I can and then accepting whatever I cannot. And that has been my journey ever since then. And art is what has been helping me be able to overcome that issue, and it also has helped me discover certain things about me that I didn't realize or I've been suppressing for my entire life. So that's it. That is the 3 reasons that I've found and overcome about having difficulty expressing myself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe and like this video, and I will see all of you beautiful souls in the next one. Bye for now.